Hello and welcome back to the channel, An Idiot on the Internet. In today's video, I'd like to talk to you about the inevitable death of physical media. Now, before I talk about what's currently going on in certain industries, I'd like to talk about my history with physical media and some of the memories that I have with it. Now, does anybody remember Ritz? They're like Blockbusters, they did exactly the same job, but when I was younger, my local rental store was a Ritz. It wasn't a Blockbuster until it became a Blockbuster. So I don't know if they went out of business or they became Blockbuster. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm of a generation where at the weekends we would go to Ritz or Blockbusters, pick out a few films, maybe some games, and then we play them over the weekend and then send them back. I remember going on holiday with my parents when I was little, and going into Woolworths and using all my holiday money to buy the latest VHS box set of Friends or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They would come out, I don't know if you remember, in 3 box sets every 6 months or so. So whether it be a Christmas, birthday or holiday, I would always save up my money and go get those. That was fun. Woolworths was fun. I used to work for Woolworths when they were around and I was younger. I was extremely fortunate and lucky that on Christmases and birthdays, I was able to get a large majority of the consoles, if not all of the consoles, at least the major ones. And of course, who can forget going into town at the weekends with your mates and going into the likes of Virgin Megastore or HMV, browsing the DVDs or listening to new bands and CDs. That was quite awesome as well. I do miss those days. I also miss going to Toys R Us and being able to go down the games aisle and see all the brand new games, and getting a ticket and then going to the counter to then get the game. On the drive home, you'd study that game like there was no tomorrow. You'd spend like an hour just staring at it because you couldn't do anything until you got home. You'd read the book, you'd look at every single side of the box. It was really something different back then. That seems to have all but gone for this current generation, this generation of young people growing up. They don't really have any of that anymore, any of those experiences, or any of that knowledge of, retail stores kind of being like that. They can go to HMV still and experience stuff like that, but they don't have DVD players or CD players anymore, so they don't really experience it like I was fortunate enough to experience it. That's actually one thing that makes me sad if I ever do get to have children one day, is that they'll never get to experience that. The only way they'll get to experience physical media and stuff like that is through me. They won't be able to make their own experiences or memories by doing it. So, with that all being said, what does the future for physical media look like? Well, I think we all kind of know because we're seeing it happen now. It's actually quite bleak. If not, there won't be any. And if there is, it'll be somewhat like maybe vinyl is now, where it's more expensive, there might be less of it, and it'll only be in specialist places. So, in full transparency, I've actually written out a list of some of the things that's happened, let's say at least in the past year to 18 months that I can remember, of certain things that point to a more digital future, or basically just crushing or ending the ability to even buy physical. So I do apologise if I look off because I've got pieces of paper everywhere just to help me with all of this. So we'll start off with one of them. 2 of the major supermarkets in the UK first pulled out of selling DVDs and then eventually went on to no longer selling games as well, which I used to frequent my local supermarket and do that. Asda still do sell games, and it is one of the places that you can go to get a good deal. But I don't know how long that's going to be for either. At some point in the last couple of years, HMV went into administration and they were almost going to be completely gone. And they were the last of the big physical media retailers that was still kind of around. Zavvi had gone, or Virgin Megastore turned into Zavvi and then gone into like an online only basis. GameStation closed here in the UK, which was Game's main competitor and was another loss of an avenue for physical media in games. Speaking of which, Game also went into administration at some point, and we almost lost those completely as well. So Toys R Us closed. So I mentioned earlier in the video that I used to go to Toys R Us when I was younger, look at the toys, and one of the last times that I went to Toys R Us, it was actually for two reasons. To look at the games, which had drastically changed from like the PlayStation 1 and N64 era, but also to look at the Power Rangers Legacy toys, which I kind of maybe want to get at some point. I didn't do it then, but the nostalgia is really big for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so there might be something in the future of delving into the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Legacy toy collection. Slightly more international is I read last year that Disney have pulled out of physical DVD releases in Australia. So I buy a lot of stuff from America and Australia, DVD wise, because Australians have a lot of DVDs that we simply didn't get here. But it's quite a big thing that a company as big as Disney would pull out of selling physical media there. A number of US retailers currently are stopping the selling of, they've stopped selling physical media, whether it be Blu-rays and 4K, and it seems to be some games as well that I keep on seeing videos crop up on YouTube of physical collectors going to their local store, whether it be like, I don't know, Target or Walmart, Best Buy, and they all seem to be heavily reducing the amount of DVDs, Blu-rays and games that they do. So that's also quite sad. Luckily we got Game back not too long ago. Another company kind of bought them out and kind of saved them, but it hasn't exactly been the same since they were like brought back. Having said that, Toys R Us has also come back, but I actually haven't been to a Toys R Us since it came back from the dead. But I've been told that it's not the same as well, and that it's actually in some other stores, kind of like what Game's been doing, where a lot of like game stores have been closing and being moved into Sports Direct, which is, I mean, we can still have them, but it's not great. And having said that, last month Game announced that they were no longer going to accept second-hand products, so you could no longer trade in your old stuff for something new, which, in my personal opinion, it doesn't really make much sense that they would do that, because I understand that they don't maybe sell the second-hand products as much as they used to. I mean, I'm not business minded, but I would have thought with the recent boom of the second-hand game market that and retro games, that they might pivot into taking all second-hand gaming products, retro and last gen, as opposed to just completely stopping it. It just seems that that they're inadvertently kind of like pushing people to go, either you buy their stuff at their prices or you go online and possibly buy it cheaper online. Now, I've not been on PlayStation Network or the Xbox store ever, and we'll get into why perhaps in the next video, but you're just pushing people to either buy your games at whatever price you have, and or go online digitally and push digital, which then makes you irrelevant. So I'm not sure why they've done that. So PlayStation had a little bit of controversy, shall we say, where it actually threw light on digital stores and digital purchases, where I believe a number of Warner Brother titles were going to be taken off of the store and also out of people's digital libraries, which there was a bit of backlash about. And they actually came out and said, like, look, we don't control that. They want to take it off the store, and we don't actually own anything, which was news to some people, and other people knew that if you look at the terms of service on pretty much every digital store, it will say somewhere that you don't actually own anything that you're buying. So you're spending all that money potentially for nothing, which is another big advocate for why I buy physical and don't want to go to a all digital future. And then recently, finally, Xbox had that whole big thing the other day about possibly going third party or putting some of their exclusives onto other platforms. And they had a video the other day coming out, basically kind of trying to quell people's fears of what's going to happen with Xbox. Is Xbox going to kind of die? I don't really know what's going to happen there. I can kind of, I'm going to guess, just by, what other people have said that, a lot more intelligent on these things than I am, because I'm just an idiot. But I can see Xbox really pushing for a digital future. They already are. In some instances or even interviews, they might have even, I think Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, has even said that they've lost the console war and they don't even really see themselves in that anymore. They don't see PlayStation as competition like that. I think they did announce that a new console variation is coming out later this year. Now, there was an email leak last year stating that there was going to be like a hardware version or iteration, shall we say, that was going to be completely diskless, which then is bolstered by the fact that they, I believe that they've sacked, I think it was 1,900 employees and their entire physical media division. So the next Xbox Series whatever is going to be diskless, and they've potentially let go of their entire physical media division. Kind of means that they are definitely both feet in on a digital future. How hard they're pushing Game Pass is definitely telling. Myself personally, I think the Xbox series of consoles is going to be Xbox's last physical based console. I also believe that with PlayStation, I think Sony's PS5 will be the last console that there's physical media for. Whatever Nintendo's next console ends up being, there's rumours about it, and it seems to be, at the moment, rumoured to be backwards compatible with the current Switch and also still cartridge based, or whatever those carts are. So there's that possibly for Nintendo, but I do see that the PS6 will be a digital console as well. So this current generation of games and consoles will be my last console, because if it's not physical, then I don't really want it. And yeah, I've got enough to watch and play that it should really kind of tide me over anyway. Also with when it comes to TV shows and films, I'll always buy films as long as I can. As long as they're available, I'll still buy Blu-ray and 4K. When it comes to TV shows, I'm actually coming towards the end of what I want and would watch, with everything being pushed to streaming. Less and less physical DVDs are being made anyway. So once I've finished buying the stuff that I'm currently watching and collecting for, that will be it too. So I think in the next 5 years, physical media as we know it will cease to exist. I don't think they'll be producing DVDs, Blu-rays, CDs, or physical games anymore within the next 5 years. I think the current generations are the last generations, and with more and more studios and companies going to streaming, I think that's it. I think we've got 5 years left. And that's really kind of one of the reasons why I made the channel, is to celebrate physical media, what I have, what we all have, and basically going back and looking at old stuff, looking at collections, and maybe, possibly, I don't know, some form of Let's Play. But I'll go into that a little bit more in the next video. As for this video, we're pretty much done. I kind of said what I wanted to say. If I actually said anything, I'm not 100% sure, but I do know I wanted to make this video. But let me know what you think. Do you care? Do you not care? What are some of your memories with growing up with physical media? Yeah, leave a comment down below and let's discuss. And you'll see me all soon on another video. Okay, bye.